This video is for you if you are struggling to stay sober and you've tried just about everything and nothing quite seems to stick. Maybe you've been to rehab, maybe more than once. You've tried AA, Smart Recovery, you've read self-help books, you've gone it alone, you've reached out to a therapist. All these things, but nothing quite seems to do the trick. And You've gone through the motions, you've felt hopeful at times, only to a few days, maybe weeks later, relapse and feel absolutely devastated that here I am again and I can't get out of this. It's a hell realm and it feels like it's going to go on forever. So what I'm going to do is give you a paradox that once you embody it, once you truly understand it and can hold these two opposing, seemingly contradictory ideas, I know, because I know for myself, that it will give you a new sense of freedom and a better chance at succeeding at being sober. So the paradox is, I can't do this alone, and nobody can do it for me. And I'll repeat that. I can't do this alone, and nobody can do this for me. This was the biggest struggle for me, is I could not hold these two opposing ideas at the same time. I thought it had to be one or the other. And my experience was I would show up to AA and I would hear this statement, I can't do this alone. I can't, but we can. And I would hear things like, meeting makers make it, and you got to go to meetings, you got to get a sponsor, you have to do all these things. And while I did them, something didn't quite feel right. It didn't really truly resonate with me, and I didn't feel authentic. So I never stuck around because I knew there was a small voice inside me that said, this is on me. I'm responsible. And I felt a resistance toward having this external locus of control that was seemingly going to keep me sober. I mean, what would happen if I decided I didn't want to go to these meetings anymore? Then I was gonna drink. I was screwed if I didn't do all these things. And naturally, there was a part of me that rebelled against that. But then I tried to go to the other extreme. And I found this book called Rational Recovery. And this was like the antithesis of AA. And at the time I read it, I so resonated with it. It was like the words of God were being spoken to me and everything clicked. I had stopped going to AA, and this book was critical of AA. And it was just what I needed to hear at the time. The thing is no matter how well-intentioned I was, and I had this book and I was armed with this new knowledge that, okay, self-awareness alone would keep me sober, and that I just needed to be aware of my addictive voice and not listen to it. Even then, I still couldn't stay sober. And I felt there's nowhere to turn. And I'd watched as my confidence was just chipped away more and more and more. And I'm betting if you're watching this video, you can relate. And so what really I found that works is I understand why they say, sometimes it takes people getting to rock bottom, because what happened for me is I got to a place where I finally was so miserable, I made an inner decision. This was no external force. There was no fear of losing my job or a relationship. That wasn't the law saying, hey, you got to get sober or else, or go to jail. There was no real external pressure. In fact, I had some people in my life saying, hey, no, please just do moderation, keep drinking. But I made an inner decision. It was an inner decision that I'm not drinking no matter what the circumstances are in my life, no matter how miserable I feel, I'm not going to drink, no matter fucking what. It was non-negotiable. It was an inner surrender And once I did that, my life began to change. And I realized too that I still needed support. And so I still sought out support. For me, it's been a few things. It's been 12-step, but it's been other things as well. And I realized that only I can really hold myself accountable. People can support me in holding me accountable, but I alone hold myself accountable. And I need community. We're interdependent beings. And I truly believe that community is essential in staying sober. So my invitation to you is to find your community. It does not have to be a 12-step if that you're opposed to that. It could be a church group. It could be any group where you feel safe to express your feelings, and especially as they relate to addiction, because these addictive patterns, my feeling is that they are long-lived. They're deeply ingrained, and they have a tendency to resurface. So having a long-term place to go and address these issues is extraordinarily helpful. So I hope that makes sense, but really, if you can hold those two things loosely and sort of do this dance with them, that yes, I can't do it alone. I need support, and nobody can do it for me. I have to find the inner motivation to want to change my life, and it is possible. There's so many other people around, and that's what helps too in having communities. You have mirrors. You get to see other people who are also living lives clean and sober, and that it's commonplace, and you can do it. And the old story of I can't change, this is who I am, I'm screwed, that can be your past, and you can start anew. So I wish you all the best, and let me know if this helps. Leave me a comment. I will make more videos like this, and my heart goes out to you. I know the struggle. It is very real, but you're not alone. Peace. Namaste.